I think, let me see, settings, audio. Yeah, I guess I'm live. All right. Ann wants to talk to you all, and we should have a game of how many things he says, which you've already heard, and you'll hear again and again and again. But let me call him, and he can get going. 10 people. Maybe we should wait just a second. Just a second. I wonder if I could. I'd like more people to join. Now it's only 8 people. I guess I offended somebody. Let's see. $34. All right. All right. All right. You all right? You all right? You all right? Let me see if I can. I assume you guys see this. Let me. Let me join in on this other. Okay. All right. Oh, allow, enter studio, mute. All right, I muted it. It shouldn't be making this noise. Oh, I see. I got to turn the volume down. Okay, and then I want to go to. I didn't know. I just found out John Hathaway is with Sprott. He's not with it's Tocqueville Gold, but it's not separate. Sprott Asset Management bought Tocqueville Gold. So here's John Hathaway, and we can talk about this. Ham will probably call in, but I'm just trying to kill time while people join us before Ham starts talking. Gold mining stocks, a clear and compelling investment case. Of course, you can read that. Why do I need to read it to you? Here, he's offering a rationale for gold mining equities, a tailwind from higher metal prices. And this was written at the beginning of this year. So number one, extreme undervaluation. Gold mining stock valuations are at their lowest in 25 years. The spread between gold price and the discount implied to spot based on the market price of the equities is a massive $700 per ounce, basically the paper value of the gold. Cash flow from the gold price, 65% of the current spot price would return the entire market value of the group. So let's read that again. In other words, cash flow from a gold price, 65% of the current price at the beginning of the year would return the entire market cap value of the group based on existing reserves. We believe investment returns would be substantially greater in a full liquidation scenario if they all went bankrupt. The theoretical returns from taking money of the producers, many, my eyesight, private would be compelling. All right, so here's the gold price versus the paper value of gold reserves. Royalty stocks, large producers, medium producers, small producers, project developers overall. And that's a good list. Start with the royalty stocks like my brain. I have a Biden brain. The royalty one that I've told you about, which is now a metals company, and it used to be Wheaton Metals. Start with that. Large producers, Newmont Mining, Barrick Gold, Franco-Nevada, and there's some others. Then medium, like Anico, although Anico might be large, but Aramis, and then the small producers. Divergence from gold price. The average annual gold price has increased over 20% since 2011. The gold price is the single most important fundamental driver of earnings. No kidding. However, gold stocks have declined over 40% since 2001. So the gold price has gone up, gold stocks have gone down. Why could that be? Because everybody, all the stockbrokers in the world who call themselves wealth advisors, they take your money, they give them to money managers, and those money managers have put all of that money to really stretch the story, but they put all your money in 7 stocks. They're not even here yet. They're not even here yet. I think they'll be here in the turn of the new year. But for now, they're in a race with each other to get their bonuses on how much of NVIDIA they own versus the other guy. It'll change as we go around the next year. There's a near-term potential for a mean reversion. Chronic underinvestment sets up potential demand-supply squeeze. According to Bloomberg, the reserve life of the top 10 miners has declined 33% in the last 10 years. As noted above, the gold mining industry is in a quasi-liquidation mode. This is a bear market. It's an understatement of book value. The current replacement cost of existing capacity is substantially above, maybe by 50% or more, the stated book value of these companies. That suggests a consistent gold price in the range of $2,500 to $3,000 would be necessary to sustain the current annual mine production. The response of production to higher gold prices has been non-existent. I'm sorry for it's a combination of my eyesight and not concentrating. I'm sorry for making mispronunciation mistakes. So this is the classic contrarian setup. There was a guy yesterday who I think was a contrarian, and he thought some of the stuff I was saying was the consensus several years ago. And he's right. But I agree here with John Hathaway. Gold mining equities represent a classic contrarian setup, especially if gold prices continue their steady historic rate of increase. GDX, which is an index, and active managers have experienced minimal inflows. Why? Bitcoin in recent years. In fact, GDX has seen outflows of nearly 17% over the last 5 years. Peak assets under management for GDX were 18 billion versus 13 billion. The market cap of the entire gold mining sector is 300 billion, less than the market cap of the Home Depot. I mean, I don't know now when this was written, Costco or MasterCard. All right, Fed pivots, let's ignore that. There's a new geopolitical landscape. Let's ignore that, but Israel is going after Hezbollah in Lebanon, north. And I think we're naive if we think that can happen without drawing the United States in a regional war. I think we're naive. But, the young men among you want it because of the glory, and it's right to do, and we've got to get in there. And can you believe what happened October 7th of a year ago? Likewise, in the Ukraine, the young men of you say, well, if we let Russia get away with this, it's going to be like Chamberlain in Munich, peace in our times. It's appeasement. So we got to go in and we've got to fight Russia for the borderlands, a country that didn't exist. Ukraine's never existed as a country. It's a construct. Zelensky and his minions are Nazis. But we're gonna go to war with the world's largest nuclear power weapons power. But hey, let's do it because it's a good thing to do. Anyway, we're going to be at war. So geopolitical landscape favors gold. I think we'll be at war before the election. The election will be delayed. Kamala Harris will be our new president. And get ready for Kamala Harris. She's going to be your president, in my opinion. And thank God we'll have a holistic approach to our foreign policy, a holistic approach to our economy, a holistic approach to race relations, a holistic approach to absorbing 20 million people who weren't here 2 years ago. We'll have a holistic approach. And for the first time, thank God, we won't have a man in office, so we can explore a holistic approach. So I look forward to it. But anyway, it's going to be good for gold prices. Western here, this is really important. You're starting to see it in Costco. You're starting to see it on some podcasts. But Western investment is absent. Under 1%, all those geniuses you give your money to at Morgan Stanley and Merrill Lynch, wealth advisors, under 1% of all global assets under management is allocated to gold versus 8% in 1980. Think about that. It's somewhat astonishing that gold is managing to trade at record highs with virtually no participation from Western investors. These same investors helped drive gold to its previous record high in 2011 of $1,921 per ounce. In our view, a gold rush proportional to 2008, 2011 could easily double the gold price from current levels. What might drive allocation upward when there was no Bitcoin and very little private equity and AI, other diversification. It does not take much to imagine that these overcrowded trades could become discredited and played out, like the dot-com bust of 2011. So here's gold in 1980. Rabbit is rich. And then look at, it's been a bear market pretty much since then. The number 10, the catalyst is higher gold prices. That speaks for itself. Here's gold to the, look at that. This depicts gold miners, the gold miners, the gold miners. I guess I have to just point to the S&P index since you've been gone. All that's left is a band of gold of the dreams we hold. I think that says 2011. Look at how gold is, the miners have underperformed. We're down here right now. This is what the miners can do. Here's the Van Eck Gold Miners ETF. I'd be lying if I told you what these double bottoms do, and these, these, whatever. That's fantasy land as far as I'm concerned. But I do agree with this downward line. And this is just a measure of being tired, of worn out, selling being worn out. M&A activity, the investment case clear and compelling. The investment case for gold mining equities is compelling. It is based on consideration of value and circumstances. The unknown element is the requisite patience before investors discover the attraction. In our view, that uncertainty is easily outweighed by the asymmetric proposition of minimal downside offset by upside potential. All right, let's try to get, I'm sorry I get worked up on the two wars. It scares me. When people get worked up, sometimes they're jerks. Other times they're just scared. I am frightened if this country goes to war. We're not ready for it. It's all hubris. We haven't won a war since World War II. And as I was just reminded, the Soviets won World War II. But we want that war. Why? It's insanity. All you young guys that want the war, why don't you gather in the soccer stadium, let's pick a place, Madrid, and we'll get all the guys on the other side in that soccer stadium, and we'll give you water pistols and fisticuffs, and you can duke it out. Why does the rest of the world have to be laid to waste for your sense of right and wrong as you sit on your cushions watching TV that's all corrupt news propaganda? Why do we have to wipe out the planet so you can feel some sort of satisfaction as you click the channels? I don't know. It's an insanity I've never contemplated I would see in my lifetime. But anyway, that's why I get upset. You'll lose 100 million people in the first day. Cities like New York, LA, gone. Moscow, gone. London, gone. All because, hey, if we don't send missiles into Russia from the Ukraine, we're going to be like Chamberlain in Munich. This kind of thinking is pure insanity. But that, you look back in history, why did we go to two destructive world wars? 1914 and 1938? I can't remember the exact times. Why? Slaughterhouses of human beings. We did it because of the thinking of old men and young men. And now we have some women involved too. But it's basically old men and young men. Hey, the glory. Guys, this is insanity. But anyway, war will help the price of gold massively. It'll probably help the dollar initially too. All right, let's get off of the subject of war and get to something we're more comfortable with.
Yeah.
Are you exercising?
No, I just finished. I'm eating a pretzel, but you ready to go?
Everyone's listening to you eat a pretzel.
Sorry. Listen, everyone, I drank a couple of Red Bulls yesterday, so I was fired up all day yesterday, but I'm even more crazy today. All right, just give me one breath here. Let me just get going. I'll retouch on everything, just go through the motions, and just we'll follow through. All right, let's start with DJT. For those who don't think I know how to trade, I helped a shareholder pick off near the bottom today at DJT. All right, and he's up like 40 cents on it now, just to show you that you can buy the dips, sell the rips. All right, you can make 50 cents, 40 cents, 30 cents. You never go broke doing that stuff. All right, same thing I would do in GameStop. I keep asking Roaring Kitty GameStop holders, who bought the third lot of shares? This company has sold, I don't know, 140 million shares, 160 million shares to somebody. And that one investor has stepped up and said, hey, I'm along and I bought the secondary. Not one. Imagine if Warren Buffett stepped in and said, I bought GameStop. This stock would go crazy. That's why I'm asking. I'm not here to insult them. But if no one is claiming they purchased it, are they embarrassed? Or they never did? No one on the long side has bought it. That means the shorts are buying it. So if you keep buying it, hoping for a short squeeze, the company keeps selling stock. Imagine you're paying 23 and the company's selling it back to the shorts at 20. They're 20 million times. 20 times 3 is 60 million in profit. The shorts are not stupid and they're making money and the company's helping them out. So be careful if you are playing that one. But the investors keep trying to push it up and keep promoting it. And I hope it works for them. But so if anyone wants to trade it, when they smack it down, you buy 1,000 shares. When they push it back up, sell it. You make a quarter, 30 cents. It's 300 a day. That's 1,500 a week for doing nothing. Just because people don't know what they're talking about, that doesn't mean the stock is not going to go up. As you can see, they keep trying to push it back up. And, the company's got a ton of cash. It's worth $11 in cash value. So, again, take advantage of their hard work and just make some money for yourself. Just keep nickel and diming it. All right, that's what I'm going to go back to doing after the election. I'm going to cash out on the stocks that I have positioned for short squeezes. And then I'm going to go back to making $300, $500 a trade, do it 4 or 5 times a day, make myself $2,000, $3,000, and that's every day, and I'll see you later. All right, I'm not sitting here I'm not going to dig into companies, what they do, what the management's going to do anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. Your opportunity to do that is now. The greatest time ever in the stock market to get free information from the next president, firing the head of the SEC. All right, even Mark Cuban knows that Gensler's out. All right, he's trying to join on it. So everybody hates the SEC, Democrats, Republicans, everyone wants this guy gone. He's a total bullshit artist, and he keeps lying and covering up for hedge funds, and it's just enough is enough already. All right, so Pat Byrne, we're working on setting up the call. I have to go through the proper channels. As soon as I get the date and the time, I'll post it on Twitter. I'm trying to get, somewhere like 50,000 people to follow in on that call, because it is going to be a massive one-time event. You're going to find out what Pat Byrne's going to do to force stock settlement and clean out stock loan, the fraudulent activity in stock loan. And you'll say to yourself, well, what does Pat Byrne know about stock loan? Well, what did you know? And I've seen it before. Pat Byrne spent $30 million to find out everything about Goldman Sachs and their stock loan department. And it's all over the YouTube. You can go find it yourself. I posted it again before. He calls Goldman Sachs a stock lending desk with the title of a bank in front of it. So that's what they really are. That's where they make 75% of the money comes from stock loan. All right, and it's all fraudulent activity. They lend the same stock out 10, 12 times. The hedge funds think they're borrowing it, pay the fees. Goldman Sachs doesn't even have the shares, and it's a complete fraudulent, unregulated part of Wall Street. Pat Byrne knows about it. He's going to bring it to the attention, and they're going to clean it up. All right, so think about the short sellers that we've been fighting, and that you see this arrogance that they have. All that's coming to an end. All right, these guys standing here have been looting for years. Their time is over.
Do you think, what's his name, did you say? The fat F-U-C-K? Do you think he'll go to prison with P. Diddy? He's in New York. He couldn't he?
I have no idea. I don't know. They smack all these criminals. They put them in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, yeah, Brooklyn, yeah.
That's where they all are. Then they ship them out to their final destination after their court date. I think they keep them there so they can run them back and forth to the Southern District. That's why I think they're doing it.
Yeah.
Listen, you have to be a buffoon. These guys are so arrogant. They want to keep stealing to the end. But you know what? All great criminals did that. Look at what's his name, Bonnie and Clyde, right? They wanted to keep robbing banks until they got caught. That was the end of them. They all get caught. Bernie Madoff, all of them. The FTX guy. They all do these big crimes, and they can't even. They don't even spend the money. They don't even know what they're doing anymore. I don't even get it. Yeah, how many? We know Jeff Easton is eating fucking like a cow every day. That fat bastard. All right, he just keeps shoving it in his mouth. So we understand why he's stealing to feed himself. All right, these other guys, I don't even get it. You got away, you've been sanctioned. The police, the feds, the FBI are looking at you. Everyone on the street knows about you, and yet they still try to come out here and do it. That just shows you they have no skills and they don't know what else to do. I told you before, Andrew Left sold his house for $16 million. People familiar with financial crimes. The government doesn't let people sell their assets if it's a financial crime. They freeze them. The only way they allow you to sell your home is that you cut a deal with them and you're giving up other people, and they allow you to, as a reward, they allow you to unfreeze your assets. They let you keep it. Andrew Left has done that. Andrew Left's trial's been moved back a year. Andrew Left is probably cooperating. I showed you Andrew Left has been given up by the Anson Fund out of Canada. The Anson Fund has given up a whole bunch of people, including Andrew Left. Now it's Andrew Left's turn, not to give up the people they know about already, but all other people, all the other people in the naked short selling world. Anson Fund invested in the same deals as Savvy Management, which is Hal Mintz, and Jeff Easton. I put the filings up, and their names are right there. They're all together. They all know each other. All right, so it's just a matter of time before Jeff Easton's name rises to the top and they go get him. All right, it takes a little time, but these guys all work together. They're all criminals. They all get caught. All right, so that's coming down the road. Right in front of us, we got 29 days. It'll be 28 in 4 hours or less. We're going to have the call with Pat Byrne. We got the companies coming out with their earnings. We're waiting for the dividend and update, waiting for William to get a call back from the CEO when he can speak. So there's plenty of things going on. William, I reposted an SEC filing from Finger Motion about the Munich Re deal that they're working with Munich Re on data. And I told one of our shareholders before, one of the gentlemen is a pilot, they don't do deals. The small companies never get deals done with big companies unless they're the real deal. Munich Re would never do a deal with Finger Motion. Okay, people clean your ears up. They would never do a deal with a company like Finger Motion unless they have the real deal. Munich Re has nothing to gain by doing a deal with Finger Motion unless they have what they need. Then Munich Re will do the deal. Finger Motion has the data from cell phones. They can tell what the Chinese consumer is doing, and that's what Munich Re is looking for, data on the consumer. Only 1.5 billion of them. They want to know what they eat, how fast they drive, what they buy, what they sell, everything about them. And Finger Motion is working on developing that content for Munich Re and also Pacific Life Re. Munich Re has done probably a ton of due diligence to make sure that these guys are real, and they have. And they put out a press release, they put it in a filing to the SEC. Jeff Easton and his brain dead friends are just trying to steal some money and have no idea what's going on. People writing negative stories about the company have no idea. They didn't read the filings. Munich Re would never do a deal with anybody who is a fraud, who cannot survive anything. All right? The short sellers are trying to push the stock down. Everyone paying attention, because I don't think I said this. The short sellers are trying to push the stock down so that companies like Munich Re or Pacific Life Re or the Chinese government or whoever it may be think that the company's going to go out of business. There's nothing they can do to harm this company. The deals they have are, all they want is Munich Re wants the data. They don't give a shit what happens to Finger Motion stock price. They'll give you 1 penny as long as they get the data. Pacific Life Re wants the data. AIZ wants to sell cell phone insurance in China. They don't care what you do when you get your money. They want to make sure they're selling the insurance or whatever product they're working on. These deals are in stone and they're not going away because of the stock price. I've seen this before where the stock price goes down and companies you think will walk away because the company thinks that the company they're doing the business with is going out of business. This is not happening here with Finger Motion. They picked the wrong company. Nothing they can do can change the minds of the Chinese government giving Finger Motion business. It ain't gonna happen. Any questions, William?
Well, one guy, Ordinary Angler, points out that Mark Cuban is rumored to run the SEC. I don't know.
So I used to speak with Mark Cuban. I don't want to say anything about it. I used to meet him down in Philadelphia, and when the Mavericks used to play at the 76ers, the Polk Assassin probably remembers. I used to love watching Iverson. I forgot his first name. Iverson.
Mark Iverson? No.
No, he's a basketball player.
I know. He played for Georgetown.
He was the most. I loved watching him play, and I used to sit courtside.
Phil Iverson, wasn't it? Phil Iverson? I think it was Phil.
But I used to go and sit, and I used to meet Mark Cuban. He gave me tickets many times, and I used to go sit down in Philly when they came into town and see him play. And I have to tell you this: I knew people that worked for Cuban when he sold his broadcast.com to Yahoo. I was in business. I was doing business with Yahoo back in the day, and I was in San Francisco when that deal happened. Mark Cuban cashed out of the deal with Yahoo, and many of the people that worked for him were given stock in Yahoo with restrictions they couldn't sell it. And basically, he sold his employees to Yahoo, and the stock crashed. Maybe because Jeff Easton was buying puts, I guess he had information. But the stock crashed, and a lot of these people did not make out like they thought they were, and they were quite upset with Mark Cuban because they were sold and they had restricted stock and they couldn't get out. And I remember speaking to a group of them, and they were trying to figure out how to buy puts to protect their position, and they were unhappy with Mark Cuban. So I never worked for him, so I couldn't give that answer. But these people were not happy about it. That's the only dealings I've ever seen happen with them. A good friend of mine, Rich, deals with Mark Cuban a lot, so we can get to Mark Cuban if we had to. Patrick Byrne have a direct pipeline straight to. So again, whoever wants to get in there, I don't believe Mark Cuban wants to do that, but everyone knows that he hates the short sellers also, so it's all good. That's a brief little history about me, Mark Cuban, and Yahoo. But we have Jeff Easton buying puts. Maybe he's the one that crashed Yahoo.
You said that the short squeeze trigger and number in Finger is approximately 250, 260. But Finger went to 318 recently and nothing happened.
How fast did they come back down and knock it down? That's the key. It went through it and they bashed it back down. How fast did that happen? One day. That tells you that's the spot, right?
Right.
In GDC, I talked about it, remember at 2020 cents. It went to 220, they bashed it down to 115. I said, next time it goes through 220, it's going to take off. It went through 220, went to 12. Going back was when the squeeze happened. I said it on your call. So there's numbers out here, and they lost track of this stock for a minute in finger motion, but they gained control and pushed it back down again. And to keep it down, they came out with a fake story again, making up their own numbers, whatever they want to do. That shows you that we're over the target. The desperation is here. All right? The company is strong enough, in my eyes, to withstand whatever attacks they want to do. They're not here to raise money. It doesn't make a difference. Although the people in GameStop think by raising more money is a positive thing now. I can't remember how that happens. When did that light switch go on? I don't know where that happened. But I think these guys are trapped. I think the number every day comes down a little bit. And this is the real short, 1,520,000. It's so deadly that the real short is now covered 200,000 shares, right? He's trying to cover. I report on it every day. I don't see any sellers in it. I don't know how they're covering. So obviously they're watching trades from the naked short to the real short. The real short is a buyer. Who's selling it to them? The naked short. One of the shareholders, or a gentleman on Twitter, asked me on Chicken Chow Mein, asked me on Twitter, because all they're doing is moving the short from the real short to the naked short. That is true. So the naked short number is going up.
And the naked short is multiple LLCs. They'll walk away from it.
They're just going to walk away from that trade. When the shit hits the fan there, they can leave the prime brokers and everybody's stuck with this big loss. The real short is trying to get out of Dodge because they're going to track him down and grab his assets. So he's trying to cover. And you could, yesterday near the close, believe after I hung up with you, I reported for the last half hour of the day, every gory, stupid trade, 2 shares, 4 shares. I counted every trade they did and I posted it. And no one, everyone on this phone, number one, the sign of a short. Go out there and try to sell 10 times the amount of stock in your account. See if your firm will let you go out there and sell it as a long. You'll never get the order in. Yesterday, I caught them spoofing, trying to sell 88,000 plus shares. They put it out there, and I took a snapshot of it, and then they canceled it. That's what we call spoofing. Spoofing is a criminal offense, trying to change this, the opinion of the stock, create misinformation in the marketplace. You can Google it yourself. Guys are going to jail over spoofing. Whoever spoofed yesterday belongs in jail. All right, so these are the criminals. This is what they do. We can't do it. They did. The second thing is when you want to look at it, I just lost my train of thought on it. But again, the spoofing, we saw that. I went blank for William. I'm sorry. I can't remember what the hell I was talking about.
Well, we don't remember what you were saying, so let's just reset.
It sounds like a Marx Brothers movie.
The sanity clause.
So anyway, that was one of the tricks they tried to do yesterday. I was talking about all the trades at the end of the day. Oh, this is the second part of that. Sorry, my memory came back real quick. The second thing is, number one, none of us go out there and do spoofing because it's illegal. You don't want to do that. And the second thing is, let's say you have 1,000 shares. And I wake up and say to my wife, honey, I can't go out today. I'm going to sit here and sell 2 shares, one share, all 3 shares, 8 shares, all day long. I want to make sure I make a sale of 1,000 shares. Look, I'm going to do it in 500 trades. No one does that. That is a complete sign of manipulation and fraud. I posted the trades yesterday. 3, 8, 4, 2, 100, 200, 1, 3. That's all nonsense trading. This stock is not even moving, and it's got selling that is relentless, and you can see it. And then all of a sudden, they crossed 2,300 shares. I caught 2,300. I showed you a wash yesterday of 59.99 shares. He's trying to lower the short position in fngr to the real short. So those are wash or pre-arranged trades. The buyer is the real short, the seller is the naked short. They're going from one account to the other to make it easier for you to understand. Imagine you have 3 credit cards, you're using one to pay off another to another. That's what these guys are doing. They're just moving it around. That's what they're doing. They're kiting checks, you name it, whatever that term is, to commit fraud. That's what they're doing. All goes back to a toxic lender. Jeff Easton is the toxic lender. Jeff Easton gave the company money. The company tried to pay him back. He didn't want to get paid back. All right? Pushing the stock lower is what they do. The only reason they keep trying to hold it down is because they cannot let it go up. That 250 number is a real number. As you can see, they always try to hit the bid for 100. It's ridiculous. But where are they going? We don't know about it. Everyone on this phone call knows what's going on. The FBI, the DOJ, the SEC, and every shareholder. Yet they continue to try to do it. I don't know if the government's allowing these guys to play the game for the trap and war. I don't understand it. I don't know if anyone ever watches. There's a show on TV, something monkey. I can't remember what. I can't remember the actor's name from Rudy, the big tall guy. Blank. Hold on a second. It's called Bad Monkey, and Vince Vaughn is in it. And the
Vinny V.
And I watched it last night, and he talks about trying to get these people that are off of U.S. soil, having to get the FBI, speaking with the head of the FBI, trying to get them arrested, and he can't get them to get them, and he's like, I don't understand it. And the FBI says, in time, you just gotta wait. That's just what they said in the movie. It's obviously, this is how it works. We want it to be done fast, but instead we have to watch, Jeff Easton just drop the offer from 213 to 212 on 100 shares. That's going to change the world for them, moving it down 100 shares. They're just trying to close the spreads. That's all they want to do. Again, they want to make it, instead of 210 to 213, they make it 210 to 213, 212. And everyone on this phone sits there and thinks, oh my God, there's a seller. That's all they try to do. It's a head game. That's all it is a head game. All right, remember, November 5th, you have the greatest opportunity ever. You have the election coming up. Make sure you vote for Trump. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, we all need financial freedom. All right? This is the only time we're going to get it. If we don't get it now, you're never going to get it. Ken Griffin's got it. He's got $45 billion in his pocket. The guy from Berkshire's got a couple $1 billion. Think about Ken. Think about Jeff Easton, the Kramers that walk around with mansions. Everyone's doing great, except for the people on this phone who are sick and tired of fraud. Okay? Unless we get someone in office that can take care of this, and we do have the guy going in, Pat Byrne. Okay, Pat Byrne gets in, and he's on our side. Other than that, we're all screwed. So again, that's my motive here. I'm not here to promote Trump. I don't care. I'm here to promote Pat Byrne. And the only way he gets in is through Donald Trump. Okay. And even what's his name? Robert Kennedy is in here to help out. He's retweeting stuff on MMTLP. There's more financial fraud. There's so much fraud going on. It's like unbelievable. I'm dizzy from all of it. But again, I'm focused on unsettled trades and the manipulation between MMTLP, GameStop, and this one or that one. People have made fortunes, life-changing amounts of money. And now it's payback time. We want ours back. And I can't tell you to do it in GameStop because the company's been funding, covering the shorts. I wish I could help you there, but I can't. AMC did the same thing. For those who don't remember, I put a photo up a long time ago of that guy from AMC sitting in a Kansas City skybox with a friend of ours with his son. I put it up there. I don't think I have the picture anymore. I actually do have that photo. And for those who don't believe me, just give me 1 second, William. Take it easy, William.
It's not easy being chosen.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm going to put this photo up, which I put up a long time ago. All right, so I put up, I said, here's the CEO of AMC. I said, we tried to get him to help, and basically what he said was, fuck you. Well, fuck you, whatever you want to say. And here it is. This was 2 years ago. And there's, I put it up there for everybody. That's someone that we know with his son. We want to expose his son's face. In the booth, sitting next to him at a Kansas City game in the skybox. There you go. We did that a long time ago. William, you probably remember it, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we tried to help out the people in AMC, and I told everyone. See, this guy said he had no interest in doing anything to help out. Point blank. So if you think we were sitting here, I didn't even own AMC. I tried to tell people that, and they yelled at me, and I just told them, "Here you go. Try it. Here's your proof." We try. Listen, Wall Street's about getting the information. If you can't get the information, then you're a fool for playing the game. It's not a guessing game. You got to get information. All right. The companies put in the filings information for you to look at, figure it out. The thing that intrigues me with Finger Motion is that they keep getting deals with multi-billion-dollar companies. And everyone keeps saying, why isn't the stock reacting? I'm telling you, they do react. Let the time play out. Let's see the revenue. Let's see what comes from it. All right? It takes time to build it. But the naked short is so dangerous because they're trying to manipulate you in your mind saying, man, this stock sucks. This sucks. I don't care what news. They just got listed on the NASDAQ. They just rang the bell. They just got a deal for charge ups of all the electric cars in China using their app. They just got this. They just got that, and no one seems to care. Right? No one seems to care. The stock price keeps going down. Well, that's not true. There's been buyers all the time in the stock. But when you can just go to your copy machine and just make copies of a certificate and sell it all day long, it's tough to beat that slide. These guys are trying to do it on a slide, a slow motion, have the stock deteriorate slowly, right? Because they're trying to make believe and hide what they're doing. But we busted them the whole time. And now that they're busted and it's getting closer to where they're going to be exposed, now you're over the where you get the most flack or the most shot at us, they're starting to pop up again. All right, so they don't like it. Pat Byrne always says the cockroaches don't like sunlight. Well, Jeff Easton, we're exposing them. So he goes out and he writes a story. The last story he did was Capybara. Now he's got this other guy writing on Seeking Alpha. What else is he going to do? Pretty soon he's going to be writing with a crayon himself. I mean, he's not. I would do the same thing. Really, if I was short, I'd be writing negative stories every day. The butcher, the baker, fuck these guys. They're all scumbag. I would say everything, anything. I need to cover my shares, or I'm going to go broke and go to jail. That's what they're looking at. I'm calm. I'm not worried about it. I know they're going to get him. All right. I'm just trying to teach people, hey, it's tough to sit through this type of. It's like water torture. That's what they're trying to do. You know, you take the offer, moves back down. The stock doesn't. It can't have an update. Why can't it have an update? Let's go. What's the big deal? The stock goes up. I told you before. They can't afford it. If the stock goes up, everyone finds out that they can't afford these trades. Who's doing these trades? They have no money. And you say, well, is that true? Well, same thing happened in GTII. Alpine came in, they had no money. They were playing the game and destroying the DTC with no money. They were playing. You can't play a game. You can't go to Atlantic City or Las Vegas and say, I like to bet $10,000 in a baccarat game. You got any money? No. You can't play. Well, I just lost $10,000. Well, you got to come up with another $10,000. We're not backing you. This is not what it's about. But this is what these guys are doing. They're playing the game, and they're playing a shell game. They have no money to back the trades. And the government knows that as they push the stocks down, they don't have to put up as much money. But if the stock goes up, just like we do, margin is the killer. If you buy a stock at 10 on margin and it goes down, William, to 9, they require you to put up more money, correct?
Us, retail, yes. They require retail to put up more money.
They want you to put up more money. It's margin. It's whole margin. You know, I told you a story about my friends in Zixi, ZX, I forgot ZXY, ZYXI, ZYXI. I think that's the symbol. ZYX.
It was Allen Iverson, not Phil. So I was.
That's right. Yeah, my friend was blown out in ZY X-ray Indian. It bought a ton of stock on margin at 10. The shorts pushed it down every day. All he did as a broker was call clients up to get more money. He believed in the company. They bought stock on margin. When it went to 9, they called William up. William, you got to put up a few more bucks. The next day it went to 8. William, you got to put up a few more bucks. The third day when I called William, said, William, stock 6.5 now. You got to put up more money. William says, sell my position.
No, I say I'll bring you money in tomorrow and they sell you out. That's what happens. They just sell you.
Either way, it becomes and the gentleman, okay, works at a big firm. He called Yvonne Hubler up every day and filed a complaint with her. And he would get her on the phone and told her personally, and I forgot her assistant. He's got some weird name. He called both of them up every day because he felt he was going to be sued by his clients because the stock price was going down every day, and he wanted it on record why the stock was going on and how he registered a complaint every day with them. Well, the stock went from 10 down to $1. His clients all got sold out, and then eventually the stock squeezed to $25. So that's another way the shorts try to win, is try to get people to bail out but make them sell because of our margin. The problem with finger motion is people aren't on margin on this stock. And they have a real problem because that's not forcing people out. The only thing that forces people to sell is the head game or the uneducated people who don't understand what's going on here. And I got it. People have a death in the family, you know, whatever your life is, you need to buy a car for the kids. We all understand that. And these are all things they use against you. All right, the SEC allows these criminals to use time to kill you. So besides unsettled trades, they use the clock to torture us. Think about that. The SEC is allowing these guys to use the clock, let the time run out and torture you. That's what they're doing. All right, this company had tremendous events. They recently got a deal done with the Chinese government, all of China, to put some technology in all the emergency vehicles. I don't know what the technology is. we'll get more of that information as the CEO speaks about it. But I think China's it's a pretty big place. They must have a lot of emergency vehicles, right? If you go to New York City, just watch all the police cars, the ambulances running around, this one, the asbestos, that, all the stuff that's needed during an emergency. Just go down to Florida with all the storms running around, all the anything that's part of to solve the problem of the what's happening, the emergency. Maybe the electric companies working on the power lines, they're all tied into this stuff. I don't know exactly every emergency vehicle, but ambulances, this, fire, police, you name it. But Fig Motion has that deal, and the stock went down from that deal. What kind of deal do the people want them to get? What do they want them to just? Fig Motion to just rob a bank. Hey, we went into the bank and we just robbed them for $2 million. We're profitable. Is that what they want them to do? Is that how you win this game? But that's not how it's done. So it takes a little time, but the company has press releases out there. Just read them, and you figure out and say, boy, this company is either good or bad. That's your determination. I personally think the stock's 100 without a short squeeze. What we got going on now just makes the lights out. In my opinion, it gets this thing go $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. And you say, come on, you're full of shit. Well, HKD, we all watched it, went to $2,500, right? Do you remember that one, William?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's no stocks ever go that high. Well, that did. Volkswagen went to $2,500. There's plenty of stocks that go way to the moon. So again, this is a small company owned by insiders. We have a short of 230 million. We have a real short. It was 1.7 million. It's now 1.5 million. So they're trying to cover. And data doesn't lie. I'm not making it up. I put the post up. I showed you the data in real time. That's not make believe. It's right there. We showed it today.
Did you see the $2 billion convertible share offering for Snowflake?
$2 billion?
That's what he says. Jason says. $2 billion convertible share offering for Snowflake.
Well, that's that's the big boys here. They knocked it down, so the stock's been going down. So it's still $110, and it's still got $30 billion market cap. I don't know what it is.
Well, they'll knock it down to get that deal priced favorably. They probably are the ones selling it, selling the stock. They'll give the company their own $2 billion, book the profit, and it's the corruption of Wall Street. There's no risk in that trade to Wall Street because no one enforces. Yeah.
When was that deal announced? Does that gentleman know?
I don't know. I don't know. Let me see. Snow stock. Yahoo Finance. They priced a private placement of $2 billion 1 day ago. It was announced.
Oh, 1 day ago. So
but that doesn't mean they didn't know about it weeks ago.
There's no question. I can tell you the days they know about it. They knew about it on, let's see, I'll tell you right now. It looks like the shit hit the fan on September 20th. It dropped from 113 down to, it was the low was 109. It's been trending lower since that point. It's traded 20 million shares. The selling started coming into it. You could see it. That's you just follow the selling. They know about it. If you go back on August 21st, maybe that's when it first started. It was 132, 16 million, 37, 12. The average volume thing, it looks like around 3 million. And all of a sudden, the volume spiked 16, 37, 16, and 12. And it dropped from 132 straight down. You can just see the volume. You can tell when someone knows something. Listen, but if you're doing a convertible debt like that big, there's probably 100 people that knew about it, and they're all selling it. And you can sit there and you'll say to me, it's impossible that they know this. How big is this company still, William? I can't see. Hold on, profile. Let me look.
It's billions and billions.
They still got a market cap of $37 billion. Data company, $37 billion. Thinkomotion has 5 times the amount of people. 5 times the amount of people. And their market cap is what, 120 million? 5 times the amount of people. Right? If they make $1 from everybody in China, it's $1.5 billion. Thinkomotion's got 15 different businesses going on in China. They're not doing it for free. So the money will come once they start to mature in the businesses. They have to get the businesses going. GameStop has, raised the money. They have no business yet. People keep posting on Twitter and sending it to me that they're hiring engineers. Still no business. They're hiring people. Thinkomotion has the deals, so they actually have the business. Now they have to hire the people and get the product done. But for Thinkomotion, it's a negative. For GameStop, which has no business yet, it's a positive. I don't understand it, but that's the way people look at it. And I keep trying to tell you, be careful, because it doesn't make any sense. Go ahead, William. Anything else?
Did you see Jeffries tripled their profits? What happened to the finger dividend? Obviously, the SEC's in cahoots with the shorts to not announce it. JD, Finger Motion has gotten a new auditor. It is plausible that the SEC said to them, we'll hold off on approval until the new auditor completes their audit.
I'll change it. I'll change that thought process a little bit more. JD, let's say JD's right. The SEC is blocking it. The JD, the SEC would tell Fingermotion, hey, we are denying the dividend. Fingermotion then has to do what, William?
Announce it.
Fingermotion would have to announce it. So JD, you're completely wrong, because the company would have to announce anything that's negative like that.
He didn't mention the part. I put that part in about
No, I'm just saying, but the company would have to announce it. So please, use your noggin a little bit. Just because these are public companies and they're under the watchful eye of the SEC.
This is the Uber Eats generation. Things come in 20 minutes. They're not used to waiting. Gretchen points out that I guess there's a Chinese wire that discussed Finger Motion on the 24th. I guess that was yesterday, about mobile payments. Finger Motion was mentioned in it. So I'll try to find that.
The key in China is the cell phone. Finger Motion is in the middle of that whole thing with the biggest players in the world. How did Finger Motion squeeze into businesses that Alibaba, Tencent are with the leaders on? And Finger Motion is now becoming a top player versus those big giants. How did that happen? Did they win a lottery? Did they file an application? Did they just get picked because they're good looking? How did that happen? Obviously, and they have connections in China, and they're huge. Jeff Easton has great connections in the bakery in Little Italy, at Ferrara's Bakery. He's eating too many cannolis, that fat fuck. That's his connection.
So when is Finger going to do its dividend warrant?
We have to wait for the government, the company to get the go-ahead with the SEC. For all I know, they're kicking it back and forth and saying, hey, you got to put an A, you got to put a B, we need this, we need that. That's how it goes. I spoke to lawyers and they said, time's up. It's got to come. Unless they're negotiating back and forth over the terminology of it. I don't know. I have no idea. We asked William to reach out to the CEO. He did. The CEO said he wasn't allowed to speak, and that he thanked William, and he said that when he's allowed to speak, he will speak. And public companies are not allowed to speak, so maybe it's a quiet period. Maybe they got something ready to come out. Right?
If
CEO wants to speak.
If the naked shorts are helping the real shorts to cover by washing trades, the naked shorts number keeps going up.
That is correct. And guess which side of this transaction is going to walk away and not do it and just get busted? It's going to be the naked short. The real short is someone that is in the U.S., most likely, very traceable, very easy to get to because they've been borrowing shares. They have a relationship with someone to borrow the shares. So that position needs to be whited out. It needs to get to zero. When that's at zero, the other side's going to fold. And when that starts to rip and roar, they're going to sit there and say, hey, we have no money. And that's when you'll read about it in the newspaper saying, hey, this small offshore hedge fund just blew up. And they were doing business through Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank and blah, 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 blah. And through TD Bank, and they were hiding stuff all over the world. And the FBI was looking at it, but all of a sudden they lost $15 billion. And that's how Finger Motion goes from $2 to $2,000. And then you'll see it in the newspaper. Even though we've been yelling, whistleblowing, trying to get them to stop them, it's funny how the crimes just keep going on, right? Until they blow up. Savvy Management, I put it up, William. There was a site, 7,500 people put up and signed a petition that Hal Mintz was a complete security fraud. They posted that for 2 years, all those signatures. And finally, he got busted by the SEC. Finally, after 2 years, 7,500 people were telling the regulators that this guy's a fraud. And they waited, and it took that much longer to get him. Think how stupid that is. We've been whistleblowing for the truck at their front door. We didn't do it on a petition on Twitter. We put the truck at their front door. And it's still allowing these guys to go on. How is that guy? What was the guy's name in New Jersey? What was his name? William Hung? I forgot. That's the guy who sings that stupid song.
Chris Christie?
No, the guy with the money manager that got busted on the law side. What was his name? Hung, something like that. He got busted. They let this guy take out positions. He had no money. He was just doing everything. They kept giving him leverage. And he blew up. It cost everybody, billions of dollars. And when the shit hit the fan, they were all looking around, and they put him in jail, and they all started ratting on each other. We have exposed the crime. I just spoke to the FBI 2.5 weeks ago. William introduced me to a guy on this call. The guy told me to call the FBI. I did. I told you exactly what they said. He passed all the information to their financial crimes unit. They have a task force. I did it. They know about it. That's like the third time I reported it already. That was a shareholder reporting it. We had shareholders go to the FBI in Long Island to report the Kramers. They knew about them. They all know about them. How are they allowing this to go on? But it's coming to a head. Pat Byrne doesn't take any shit. Just go on Twitter. Read about Pat Byrne. Go on YouTube. Read about him. They picked the wrong guy. This isn't a guy who's just going to learn about naked short selling. He's an expert on it. And he knows who to go to close out the laws, close up the loopholes, and shut these guys down. And that's what's going to happen. Jeff Easton's not going to be able to call up his attorney and say, hey, can you call Pat Byrne? He's not going to take any calls. He don't give a shit. He's going to wipe you out. It's security fraud. You're short, buy him in. You're broke, put him in jail, take his assets. That's what's going to happen. So if you're looking to buy any good furniture or watches or anything, wait for Jeff Easton and his friends all start getting busted. I'm looking for an end table. Any other questions, please? And if you were short, just everyone on this call, just think about it. You're the short seller. What would you do if you're trapped? I would do exactly what all the shorts do. Look at DeVita, dog Victor Apple.
Indigada Davida.
He was the king of the short sellers. He called Enron. He was brilliant. He called DVA an insurance fraud. I looked into it when the news came out that day, and I posted it. I said, this stock's either going to be a 0 or it's going to be 125 fast. Well, it turns out Warren Buffett owned most of the stock. The stock went down 4.5 points, stopped, turned, went to 125. Jim Chanos was never heard from again. He retired. That was the end of him. So he threw some shit against the wall. He was short the wrong stock, and it didn't work. Well, the other day, the stock traded up to $166. Think about if you owned it, William. You sold it out at 53 because Jim Chanos called it a fraud. Right? You don't think that happens? I watched it happen in EXAS. I watched Andrew Leff attack that stock from 30 down. I watched it happen in Andrew Leff when he attacked Peloton from 30-something down to 28. Then it turned around and went to wherever, went to 200. They try to get people to come out of their stocks. That's all they try to do. And they walk away unscathed. They're allowed to say it. Oh, this is what I thought that it was, an insurance fraud. CNBC put them on TV looking for content because it was Jim Chanos. And they just murder people. They make all the money. And now they're finally looking into Andrew Leff because guess what he was doing? He was shorting it, putting a story out, bashing it, and covering. They weren't staying for the trade. They didn't believe their own shit. Finger motion, they just put out the fake story. What are the shorts doing? He's trying to cover. And you say, you're full of shit. Well, the data tells me I'm not, right on the nose. The shorts are trying to cover after putting out a fake story. That's the same thing Andrew Leff did. They're trying to cover. They want people to sell it because they put out a fake story. They want you to believe whatever nonsense they wrote, and they want you to sell it.
Where is Florida State University?
Tallahassee.
Oh my gosh. It's about to be wiped out. Maybe.
Oh, it's good.
Hurricane Helene is going to make landfall, category 4, maybe 5. And it comes in tonight. Oh my gosh.
So did they get in your car and drive to Jacksonville?
Well, maybe that's where it's hitting, is Jacksonville. I'm confused.
Nah, it's on the coast. It's in the
Panhandle. Is that where?
Yeah.
I don't know where Tallahassee is.
That's right, the Redneck Riviera is right. That's where it is.
Redneck Riviera. So, have you ever considered that Trump might not be the next president of the new United States?
Yes.
How likely do you think that scenario is?
0%. And as we're speaking, finger motion was 210 to 213, and they dropped 300 shares to 211. Watching this nonsense is water torture for all of us because we have to watch criminals wiggle around until someone squishes them. We have to watch this stuff. The only reason I report it because I want you to understand what nonsense this is. Selling 300 shares to try to change the market cap of the company and save these guys a penny. Remember, when the stock goes up a penny, all right, these guys are losing a lot of money on each penny, right? Think about that. That's what this is all about. Money, margin money. That's all it is. Hurry up. There's no bid. There's a bid at 210. People aren't buying the stock. Offer it down. Offer 200 shares. Maybe someone comes and hits the 210 bid, and then you could drop the 211 offer to 210. That's all they do all day long. It's the same nonsense.
Top story today in Market Watch. David Tepper, I have no idea who he is. He's a billionaire. David Tepper is buying everything in China. ETFs, futures, everything.
But Jeff Easton knows better.
He told CNBC CNBC in a rare public appearance that he was going all in on China after this week's announcement of a range of stimulus.
Yeah, but we have someone who wants to sell 300 shares of Finger Motion, a company that does all its business in China.
Oh, Benzinga has an article stating that Tepper is buying everything China related.
So if you're looking at things in China, who does business in China? Nike, that's up $1.21. Starbucks is up $1 something. These companies, that's where their growth is over there. Starbucks up $1.54. All right, so but Finger Motion, there's 300 shares for sale. So Tepper, I'll reach out to the street, see if I know anybody knows him. I'll try to give him the Finger Motion story.
He looks like you. He gets a discount on his haircuts.
I think he owns the Carolina Panthers. I think he owns the football team.
I don't know. I've never heard his name before. But.
Yeah, I've heard his name before. He's very, very wealthy. He's like a $30 billion guy, something like that. No, that's a nice find, William. Thank you.
Hey, anything.
That's why we have a trading desk. Right?
So people share ideas.
There you go. It's information. Oh, look at China. Alibaba's up $9 today. Finger Motion has 300 shares to sell. Finger Motion is not in the mainstream yet, but when it does get to the mainstream, this is what happens. So again, they're telling you China's the place to be. Finger Motion does all its business in China, and yet we have to sit here and watch a guy sell 200 shares. People, you have to figure it out for yourself. We can't say anymore. We believe that China is the place. China, the markets are ripping and roaring. Multi-billion dollar investors are piling in. And the company that does all its business in China, data, communication, cell phone insurance, pop-ups up there, the electric cars, emergency vehicles, all this business, all in China. And yet we have someone, Jeff Easton from Madison Avenue, him and Phil Lavaliere, decided that they want to sell 230 million shares of the stock short. And I guess that was their bet against China. Well, they fucked that up. Now what? Two stupid assholes. Again, I'm not concerned about the fundamentals. Now that China is going the right way. You know, even Martin Chen said that there was a little downturn that hurt them a little bit in China, but now the market is ripping. People are spending, people are moving and grooving over there. So, the company had said that in one of their conference calls. There you go, William. Their 210 bid just dropped with no trades. Hurry up. The sellers are massive. It's ridiculous to watch. And because we don't have institutional support, everyone, the word is institutional support. Institutions that own 3 million shares of any stock, when they see it drop down a little bit, they go out and they buy some more. And that sucks up the selling in a real stock. We have a counterfeiter just trying to manipulate for some crazy reason, trying to sell it low. Who wants less all the time? Jeff Easton. There you go. They make more money with a flop than a hit. They're trying to be the movie that produces. Keep selling, but the company, this is the wrong company. K&W is the company that they should be raping all day long, in which they are. K&W keeps taking money, issuing shares at a discount, just rape that company to death. I keep trying to tell the shareholders of that company, read the details, they don't care. Stock's 27 cents. It was 90, it's on its way. Like the Etzel, down to zero. But that's the company to rob. And the company allowed it to happen, so good luck to them. Finger Motion's got rid of them. Any questions about finger motion, what we've seen or we're hearing? Does anyone on your call have anything to say? First, I'll go touch on a few other things if you don't.
Should we hold our cash to buy in when the stock market crash comes, or accumulate as much as we can now in finger and DG?
Listen, I can't tell you about the stock market crash when it's going to come. William believes that this is going to keep melting up. Goldman Sachs said they think the market's going to melt up. You know, there's mixed signals on this stuff. There's a new administration coming in. You know, I couldn't tell you. The market is about, I believe the market is about stock picking versus playing the market as a whole. So, you know, if you think the market is going to sell off because of, Nvidia's not going to sell their chips, so Nike sneakers are no good anymore, or this or that, I think it's more of a stock pickers than a market. So you got to be careful about that. The market's dropped plenty of times, but it keeps getting saved by individual stocks. Like, one of the last sell-offs, I think Nvidia turned up, UNH turned up. If you look at it, one stock that never goes down is Goldman Sachs. It's up another 4, always going up, never goes down. And if you just look at what happens here, out of these stocks, Interactive Brokers made a new high. They get committed, they do fraud, no problem, make a short, pay the fines, their stock's $138. What do? They execute orders. That's what they do. Where's Robinhood? Selling your order flow. It was garbage, right? $23. How are the brokers always going up? They have nothing to offer society. They all do the same thing, yet their stocks are all going up. Companies working on cancer, enhancing your lives, new automobiles, this. They're all trash. Goldman Sachs just makes money every day, no matter what they do. All of them all do it the same thing. They all make the same money. Just become a broker. How do these guys keep going up every day? They never lose because they're just looting everything. All the rules are in their favor. Everyone's pension money just keeps getting. Every time you put up $1,000, Wall Street's taking 200 of it and splitting it up. Every time you put money up. Think about that. 20% is probably taken right at the top. Maybe 25. Money managers get it, brokers get it, this one gets it all day long.
Well, imagine all the trillions that are pumped in to the debt market, how much goes to Wall Street?
Oh, God, it's just keeps all it is. They're not doing anything. They don't produce anything, do anything, zero. Steal, they're doing, that's a good end. And it's all done online now, so there's a lot of, the people that were all on these big exchanges are all gone. There's no employees anymore. It's all done electronically.
You sound like
and the stock settlement system doesn't settle anything. Was it treasuries, stocks, bonds? Who knows? Everything's not settled. Everything is leverage, leverage, leverage.
Mm-hmm. So Jacksonville's on the Atlantic side. So I guess your beloved university is okay.
So they just hit the 209 bid for 5,000. Everyone, that is a wash trade of 5,000 today. They put the bid up to 209 for 5,000. They sold exactly what the bid was. Remember, here's your sign on how they wash trades. Someone bids 209 for 5,000. The seller sold exactly what they had to buy. They didn't sell a share less, a share more. Maybe, who has 5,000 exactly? Guys just pick up and say, wait, it's 209 bid for 5,000. Hey, honey, that's exactly what we have. Let's sell it to them. That's what they're doing. That's a prearranged trade. If they sold 5,300, it would be 208 to 209, 300 shares for sale. But they didn't. They sold exactly what was there. And that's how you know it's a fake trade. Again, China is everyone's going all in on China, and someone is just sitting here trying to sell and just trying to mark it down. There's nothing. What else can I tell you?
Did
when
your
it turns, you won't get a chance to buy it. That's what's gonna happen. And when, like the stock, when Finger Motion starts to explode and it's up $8 like Alibaba, you're all gonna be sitting there saying, "My goodness, I should have bought more when we were talking about it when China was exploding." That's how it goes. We all do the same thing.
I already read that one.
Excuse me?
I'm going through questions. I already read that one to you. I'm not perfect in my eyesight, so I have to click them up. Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you. Didn't mean to.
No problem.
20-foot storm surge coming. 20 feet's a lot. That'll wash out a lot of crud.
No, that's good news. People will get wiped out.
I hope people.
The insurance companies will raise your rates. Their stocks always keep going up also.
I hope people drive away. I hope people drive away. Don't be.
AIG's up. AIG up in the storm surge coming is up 40 cents. No matter what happens, insurance companies go up.
Yeah, there's a disconnect going on.
Who pays for all this damage, right?
So did your wife's boyfriends come in to visit you at the hospital?
They tap danced their way into my heart.
Yoo-hoo.
There's a good clip. I think it was I'm not sure if it was Family Guy or The Simpsons about that. I think it was The Simpsons.
There's Family Guy. Where are the gay guys? No, the really gay guys. Or the gay guys or something like that.
So again, I just have to laugh that I knew nothing about Tepper saying he's going all in China, everything going on CNBC, Alibaba. He's moving Alibaba up 10 points or 9 points, whatever it is. And Finger Motion does 100% of its business in China. Everything they do is in China. And someone's trying to sell the stock down. If you, this is the most moronic trading pattern I've ever seen. And I only wish I was back on the desk, and the trading desk. I would be buying up every share with every hedge fund and scoop this thing and turn it myself up a couple of bucks. I could do that myself. That's how stupid this is. But again, we're at retail. We can only have so much money. We can only do so much. And the street, there's not many people left that I know on the street. Most people retiring. The brokerage community is smaller and smaller. Everyone does manage money. So all the morons that are managing money throw their money into the same stock, and they all do the same thing. Like NVIDIA, everyone buys NVIDIA, they take it up 100 points. Everyone's going to buy Alibaba because that's the stock. They all want to be the same thing. They don't want, William wants to make exactly what I make, and I want to make exactly what William makes, because otherwise, if I'm making more, people give your money to me and take it from William. So William does the same thing I do.
As a money man, as a assets under manager genius.
Right, they all do the same thing.
They're no smarter than anyone. They're just lemmings.
So
but they got a lot of data and computers, and they use things like beta and delta and gamma, and it's a nightmare. It's all the same.
That's the same. Listen, people, I've given you every gory detail, and the new gory detail is that the Chinese newspaper just put out something about Finger Motion and I guess the payment system. That was one. David Tepper, big money manager, telling you he's going all in on China. The Chinese stocks are exploding off of his comments, right? Obviously, right? Finger Motion does all its business in China, and it's not in the same group or basket because it's under the radar. the radar stock, it'll be too late for you. That's how Wall Street thinks.
Right.
You know, do I have to get on the phone and start telling people? I could do that, but I really don't want to do that anymore. That's not my job to try to help people like David Tepper. All right? I would reach out to David Tepper to help us out, let him know about it. I'm going to try to do that. But other than that, I'm not calling every hedge fund on the street, hey, go buy 100,000 shares of this thing, go do this, go do that. I'm not doing that. So I don't want to do that. Jeff Easton's trapped. We got 29 days to go. Pat Burns going to execute him. I'm good enough with that. I can wait it out.
Well,
that's it. No other questions?
No, there aren't really any. If finger does spike, well, I'm not sure about that. The multi.
Spikes here. Wait, this is what's going to happen. Finger motion is going to spike $2 to $6. 18% of the people on this call are going to sell their stock and say, I'm going home. And I got it. That's what happens. So again, wait for your spike, get out, whatever price you want to do, break even, get out, go home, do what you got to do. But you'll get your chance. That's it. I know that's what happens because we're in GameStop and I put friends into it at 2 3/4. I worked GameStop. I did it. I loaded up at 2 3/4. Excuse me, 3 3/4. Excuse me, 3 3/4. The stock popped to 9, 8. I had called my friends call me up. I bought 200,000. Thank you very much. I made $1.5 million. Thank you. And I said, that's not why we're here. And they said, hey, screw you. I'm taking the money. At 11, new group of guys. Thank you very much. I bought 300,000. I'm gone. Thank you. I made $3 million. See you later. $18. They started selling more. Different groups. I still remember it. Thank you very much. Got a great call. You have any, what's your next one? Great call. Get back to me. When it got to 100, they were like, oh, why didn't I hold on? You're the professional. Why didn't you hold on? Because everyone's here trying to make a nickel. That's what you try to do. We hold on to our losers and we sell our winners. Welcome to the world of stock trading.
That's my love life.
Whether you're Stevie Cohen or David Tepper or other money manager, you know, they'll do the same thing. You know how many guys with short stocks and Peloton at $200, it drops to $150. I made $50. You turn around, it's down to $50. If you had held up, you would have waited another week, it was 150 less. But we don't do that because we already had that fear it's going to bounce back up on a short squeeze. You know, no one knows. And that's why I keep trying to tell you, get in and get out by averaging in and averaging out. That's it. Nobody else?
Well, someone's asking you if finger does spike to multi-thousands, what do you think it will settlement offer? I just don't count on
What would the
multi-thousands.
settlement offer and what? Listen, if the stock is spiking like we think it's going to happen, all the way up, you should be making sales. Because I can't tell you the exact top. You're never going to ring the bell. So don't think about that. Just keep making money when it goes. So if you got 1,000 shares, you sell 1 at 8, 1 at 11, 1 at 17, 1 at 22, 1 at 32, 1 at 45, always up. You never go broke, getting your money, original investment off the table. And if you still have more shares to go, you're a winner. That's how it works.
Monster Storm Hurricane Helene is one of the biggest ever to hit Gulf Coast. 345 miles across. That's a bad mamba jamba.
Mm-hmm. Was everybody scooting off to? They're probably driving across the state of Florida, driving south down towards Miami to get away from the storm.
Is anybody a Mets fan? They've got a tough job. I guess.
Yeah, they're playing in Atlanta.
Yeah, so they had a rain out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. They have to play two games on Monday.
Mm-hmm. And that's about it. So to recap, GDC, my friends who bought it in the beginning, I told you it's a professional trade. They've been acquiring it, still doing it. They're not afraid of it. They're still there. Okay. Again, I told you before that was a professional trade. I still own MLSS. I paid $1.01 for it 3 weeks ago, waiting for something to come out with the Reptidoro. I don't know when it's going to come out. Hold on. What else do I got? I can't remember all the stupid stuff. I always watch Kodak. That's a billion share, and they can short its stock. And Wolf, where was that at these days? 5.20 or 6 cents. We've been following that for a long time. My friends sold out. They made a fortune in that thing. They started to buy EBFI. Guys from Wolf started to buy that one. I bought some stock yesterday at $2.95. Not a lot, like 500-600 shares. I'll tiptoe into it and see what they do. I don't know what the story is behind it. Some sort of crypto blockchain thing. I don't know what it is, but anyway, I'm just starting to look at that, tiptoeing into that. No, that's it. There's nothing else. I'm watching finger motion. That's the extent of. I think that's it. That's all. T-Lo, I don't know it. My friends sold it on the run up. They started buying it on the dip while it was down here. And again, the stock went to 80 something. The shorts keep coming back down, trying to hold it down. What was the IPO price, William? Off the top of your head?
8? I can't remember. 7. All right, 7.
Jesus, my goodness. I teed that up for you. All you do is pick a number.
I know.
People, I do is memorize numbers and trading things. That's what I do. Okay, no matter what, I keep remembering them. But do your homework. The homework lesson is so easy. Okay, listen, I got it. If you don't have the money and you just want the education, I got it. To just sit back and relax. If you don't like what you see, you sell it. That's just nothing you can do. You can take a loss. That's just the way it goes. There's no guarantees in this world. So if you're unhappy, you know the fraud that's going on, you're welcome to call the SEC, the FBI, whoever you like. I do every day. I point out that Jeff Houston is a criminal. I am not the first guy to tell you that. Funny is, K&W has a complete debt spiral, fuck you, you're going broke note on it from Jeff Houston. It's right on the tape. I posted it on this. You can read it. They get the lowest of the low of the low. They can convert millions of shares at the bottom. And there's not one person selling a share. No one moves, nothing. Finger motion has nothing to do with that. The Chinese market is ripping. The biggest investors in the world are going all in on China. And we have someone that wants to sell the stock all the time. See the difference, people? They need to move finger motion lower because they are short and they cannot cover. So they need to make people bail out. K&W, they just want to keep selling. Any sucker that steps in here and buys a share, they keep selling it to them. Because the more they sell, they get that money at 27 cents, and they can sell it at 26 cents, 25, and they'll convert all those shares. They're shorting them at 25, 26, 27, always up, and they're going to buy them back at a penny. If the company reverses itself, they don't even have to cover it. They get a zero. That's what they all do. That's the game. I try to say it as slow as possible so you understand it. I hope you do understand it because it can change your life forever if you understand it. It did change people's lives in GameStop. They made a guy sitting in his basement very wealthy, but now he's very wealthy and stupid. So now I don't know if that's a curse or whatever. But he should have taken his profits, disappeared, and never came back. But now, now he's controlling GameStop, and and he's involved in the stock for no reason, and he's up millions of dollars. Move away. Good luck. Go enjoy your life. All right, is that it? Anybody else have any questions?
There's no more questions.
Well, I'm going to take my son, go for a walk with my walker, and go get lunch. And then I have to go ride the bike. And Friday, tomorrow, I get my stitches out, or wherever the hell they did here, glued it. I don't know what they did. And I get to see the actual wound tomorrow. But I'm riding a bike, doing well, William. I stopped taking all the medication. And the medication, I think, really screws people up. Maybe that's what Jeff Easton does. He eats too many pills. Fat fuck. Again, Jeff Easton, anytime you'd like to meet me by the Brooklyn Bridge, on the Brooklyn side, come on over, bring your friends, bring whoever the fuck you want. We'll be glad to sit down and discuss this whole thing with you. But he won't show up because he knows he's a criminal. Everyone on the street knows he's a criminal. Everyone who does any kind of loans knows he's a criminal. I bump into people all the time. He's a scumbag. You were with me, William. The guy called me straight out right then, right? Remember?
I was with you. I thought he was talking about you.
I was taking it as a compliment. Jeff Easton. He said Jeff Easton. He goes, oh, he's a dirtbag. I was in his office having a drink with him. This guy's orchestrating the whole thing. That's what he said. I looked at William. He looked at me. So I guess we're right. We know who the bad guy is, right?
Well,
everyone knows. Everyone knows that this he's up 220%. Everyone in every stock he's invested gets wiped out. He's helping making money for that guy. What's that guy's name in Australia? What's his name? Hancock. He's making him the richest man in Australia, stealing all money. Jeff Easton. Nice guy.
Yeah, you can't find class like that.
Yeah, and all he had to do, his education was just trading Yahoo options. That's how he made it. That's how he became this big. He's got better returns than Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett's up, what, 12%, 15%? Yeah. He's got returns of 220%. Warren Buffett should be giving the money to him to manage. All right, I'll let everybody go on that note. Again, just do your homework. Chinese market dripping. Finger Motion does all his business in China. David Tepper, go read about him. I don't know. He's sitting there telling you that's the place to be. Oh, it's so funny. We invested in Finger Motion. That's where they do all their business. On top of that, we have 230 million shares short. We got 1,520,000 trying to cover. That's the real short. We have 28 days, soon to be 28 days, going down till Pat Byrne gets put into office by Donald Trump. Pat Byrne is an expert at naked shorting and stock loan. He'll make sure we decapitate these guys. And I keep looking for the negative. There is no negative. The only thing we have is someone keeps trying to manipulate the stock using the market maker exemption. That would be Jeff Easton. There you go. Everyone, have a great day. I'm going to get some chicken. I'll speak to you later.
All right. Bye.
Thanks.
What are the negatives? Yeah, that's a big storm. It's just, I guess the big part is how wide it is. I don't know if I need to stay on any longer. I don't know what to talk about. Ham hit most of the highlights on his stocks, Finger and everything. And I think we have to continue to get ready for a precious metal mania. I don't know what I can add value right now. Oh, girl, I found things that I thought had so much value. Didn't have any value at all without someone to love me for me. Ham keeps bringing it up, and I think it's a little unfair. Martin was very kind. He responded to me as quickly as a human being could. And he said, or implied is a better word, because he has to be careful what he says. He has to follow rules of full disclosure, fair disclosure. The criminals can do whatever they want. And apologists out there say it's okay because they're good clients. But CEOs have to be very careful. They cannot put themselves in a position where they're talking to people or a subset of investors when there's material information which they're aware of or should be aware of, and they get on an interview and something comes out, they're in trouble. People who sell stock that doesn't exist, they're just good clients. If you want to keep judging him for not giving an interview, you can. I cannot change what you worry about and how the stress you put on yourself. But it's perfectly normal we used to call them quiet periods. What could Finger Motion be working on that he can't talk about? My guess is a financing which is away from Univest. Why? Because Ham brought up the other day, I think 3 days ago, that he had heard from somebody somewhere that the deal with Univest had been disengaged. I looked it up and I read it to you a couple of months ago. But to my memory, the Univest deal was a 2-year deal, but it could be ended upon a 30-day notice by either party. I don't know who notified who's zooming whom, but I would guess that after well over a year, when nothing happened, that it's probably Finger Motion that got tired of being linked up with that firm without saying anything bad one way or the other. So I don't know the answer, but I would imagine one possible item is that Finger Motion is going to announce a financing. I don't think, to all the boo birds and the Michael Dines on Seeking Alpha, I do not believe it's going to be dilutive. We'll find out. What could another one be? Another one could be simply the earnings that are coming up. October 11th or 12th. Well, that means we got to wait. So if you want to bring tension in your life and every single day ask about it, fine. But frankly, we might have to wait another 2 or 3 weeks before earnings come aside. And that might be the quiet period. Very logical quiet period where CEOs do not talk to anybody or make it clear they cannot address earnings until after they're released. What else could it be? It could be that large contract which they've already announced. Maybe they want to update the progress on that contract. Again, the CEO has to go through proper channels, has to deliver meaningful material information to everybody at the same time. Criminals can collude, cheat, sell shares that don't exist, communicate with each other, sell stock that they haven't borrowed or located. They can put out research reports, and it's all perfectly okay by Adina Friedman, who makes $2.6 million a month. And NASDAQ's in trouble. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that she doesn't know how to run an organization like that, and she has no integrity, no brains. Or maybe NASDAQ, after it's all those years, it's just a hopeless exchange. I'm sorry for all of those DEI people. I do not see where promoting people ahead of their skills, ahead of their learning, ahead of their talent, because of their chromosomes, is the best decision all the times. But anyway, that's NASDAQ. That does not explain the SEC or FINRA, which are run by men. It doesn't explain it there. But you have to look at each situation, try to assess what's going on, and act accordingly. And I think NASDAQ is a killing field for these companies. But anyway, what other thing could be going on with fngr? I can only imagine that they may have updates on the insurance companies, but that's probably just that I hope they do. I have no idea. Anyway, this interview will come at some point, but I'm not one to put pressure on a perfect gentleman and a highly dedicated, hardworking CEO, Martin Shen, just because people are antsy every single day. It's just not how it's done. I would lose my credibility. I would lose my access to Martin Shen if I bugged him every single day, because I know exactly what's happening. Exactly what's happening. It's a quiet period. He can't talk. But we can push it every day. I personally, I'll absorb it. I'm not going to bother him. I'm not going to push that pressure onto him. And in terms of the dividend's been out there. The SEC is SLOW. It's like the World Bank. But if you want to see a conspiracy theory, you want to ask about it every day, it'll happen when it happens. My own opinion is what I heard, because of him telling you, I heard it in my left ear right here as he was talking to you, is that fngr motion has engaged a new auditor at the request of an investor. What do you think that means? That probably means somebody's getting ready to invest money. Probably means it's somebody who doesn't trust whichever auditor fngr has. So I want you to use a different auditor. I don't know. But just logically, the SEC, who is busy, who's putting their purview over coins, even though they can't handle their other business. My guess is I lost my train of thought. Sorry. On the dividend, my guess is that they are just waiting for those numbers from the new auditor. But it could be anything. There's no reason for the dividend to be declined. What happened to MMTLP was a one-off by a woman, I forget her name right now, Jessica Hopper, an attorney, Jessica Hopper, found an obscure reason to halt trading. The milquetoast CEO of FINRA put her out to dry instead of taking responsibility himself. Somebody has to pay for his large suits. So he didn't want to put his paycheck at risk. So he put her on the front line, it looks like. But that's just a one-off. The dividend process takes a while. It always does. But in this case, I think it has something to do with the new auditor. But guess what? That implies to me that fngr maybe has a financing coming. And if you combine it with the things you've heard here, but you don't want to, I don't know why you want to destroy yourselves, but you combine it with the things you've heard here where Martin Shen has made it just absolutely clear. He is not going to take another deal, a toxic financing deal with Jeff Easton, Hailey Kim, Sam Chung, John Hancock, Philip Valier. He's not going to do it. Nor is he going to do it with anybody like that. So I would guess any financing he has is going to be a good thing. It's going to be a good thing for shareholders. Now, Finger Motion has I should show you guys how to look at this stuff. I'm sure you know how to do it, but maybe some of you don't know how to do it. This is Court Says, that's this one. We can go to you can go here, OTC markets, but Finger is technically, it's not an over, it used to be the over-the-counter, NASDAQ used to be over-the-counter, and it was the queen of the over-the-counters. Now it's all moved around, but you can type in Finger and it'll come up. It's probably not the best place to get information. NASDAQ might be better. But anyway, it says Finger Motion. You can see the chart and you can see some of the news. But the thing is, you can go here to security details right in the middle. You click on that. And you'll notice, despite what this completely corrupt idiot Michael Dines wrote in Seeking Alpha, the outstanding shares, 52 million, 53 million. There hasn't been significant dilution. This isn't billions of dollars, billions of shares. Look at the restricted shares, 26 million. Held at DTC, 10 million. But anyway, let me point something out here. The market cap is $100 million. I, just in fairness, full kind of exploration, a company whose business is primarily I would argue very valuable, but low margin so far, may I wonder why they don't have a presentation here. Maybe they have one down here. All right, so they have telecommunications products and service, which is top up. And that's where they get most of their revenue. It's low margin. So anyway, my point is, if China is in a bear market for stocks, you could argue that maybe 100 million is, I don't know, somewhat reasonable price. I don't know. I'm not trying to support it. I'm just saying that reasonable people could argue that's a fair price. But that's just treating telecommunication products and services, top up, as its only business. You come down, they have this SMS, which came in and replaced top up last quarter. But I don't think this is going to be a huge driver of the company, SMS. Big data is. Big data. And then this is what's going to replace SMS is rich communication services, 5G. And then they have value-added products. Value-added products, to me, you might as well not highlight. All right, here's their presentation.
Before I get started on this corporate update, I firstly want to thank all our shareholders who have been providing valuable feedback to us over the course of the past year. Although we're very reserved with respect to our social media, I do want to share with you that we are in fact listening to what you have to say. We could have communicated this message with a press release, but in these new times, I thought it was important to show the investment community that there is a real face to the company. We work for you, the shareholder, and I thought it was important for you to meet the person that you are depending on to responsibly execute the business plan and guide the future direction of this company. I'd like to first start off with a brief history and where we have come from. Then we can talk about what the company looks like and finish with our exciting plans to revolutionize the marketplace. We started off in mobile gaming, and the goal of almost all games is to get as many subscribers as you can. So we built a couple video games and started marketing them. We did okay, but we certainly weren't setting any new records. We did recognize, however, that we had to build our existing user base, and during these efforts, we formed a relationship with China Unicom.
Put me on the phone a second.
You're on the phone.
I just called one friend, and someone on his desk used to cover him. He's got his number. He's going to call down. And,
Who, Teller? Tetler? What's the guy's name?
Pepper.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. He's calling me back. Hold on.
I'll pick a better time to answer the phone.
Right. And you got to his secretary?
Yeah. She said you want to call me.
Okay, thank you. I'll call you. I'll get it right to you. Go ahead. You heard that, William?
You heard it, yeah.
All right, my friend already spoke with his secretary, wanted to get the information on finger motion. We did it in, 3 minutes? I took care of that. That's how Wall Street is. They look for opportunities, let him do his research, and if he finds it compelling, we will make sure he will buy stock. Fuck you, Jeff Easton. You think we're a bunch of jerk-offs? Fuck you. All right, William? Now can I go get my fucking chicken?
Please do. Gobble, gobble.
I want to see how that fat fuck eats. Fuck you, you fucking fat scumbag. We're gonna fucking blow you up no matter what happens. I'll speak to you later.
All right.
Call him.
All right, let's listen to
Who
this.
was actively looking for a third-party application to top up mobile phone minutes. We recognized the opportunity and quickly reallocated our resources into developing an e-commerce program across multiple platforms that could process these top-up minutes. What made us different from other top-up providers is that we could operate on any platform. This allowed us to quickly onboard a number of small e-commerce companies looking for a top-up offering that wasn't tied to another proprietary portal. We basically open-sourced the top-up business in China. This initial notoriety landed us additional top-up business from the top 3 e-commerce portals in China, namely Alibaba, JD.com, and Pinduoduo. Obviously, these desirable relationships gives us potential access to billions of users. From our financials, you can see that the top-up business is very cash-intensive and operates on razor-thin margins. We are only one of a handful of top-up wholesalers, but remain the only one that can operate on any e-commerce platform. We built on these relationships, which eventually led to the portal management contracts. The e-commerce portals and telecoms adeptly realized that our value proposition was monetization. We were able to effectively market to their user base, thereby increasing the revenue per user. We were facing our own challenges as a company onboarding this enormous user base. At the time, we lacked access to non-dilutive capital, and so we looked for ways to expand our margins and profitability while adhering to our core competencies. In April of 2019, we purchased an SMS business that was designed to increase our margins and revenues. We were very pleased with the SMS results, and our modest success has allowed us to invest in other divisions, most notably the research and development of our big data arm. After many months of groundwork analysis, formula innovations, complex algorithms, and process structures, it finally led to our recent launch of Sapientus, which is our exciting foray into the insurtech space, delivering tailored data packets to the insurance and financial services industry. I believe that we are only at the dawn of an infinite horizon of opportunities of our big data division. I hope this brief summary helps you understand how we morphed into the company we are today. We are basically an e-commerce company, developing ways to monetize our abundant user base, where we look, act, and feel much different than what most perceive as a traditional e-commerce company. For other companies, most of their overhead is constrained to marketing and development costs, designed to keep users engaged and attract new users to the platform. We have none of these issues because our portal partners give us unfettered access to what amounts to billions of users, and our cooperation agreements incentivize us to add incremental revenue to their business. From that, our budding SMS business has developed into a strong revenue center. Combined, these two divisions reported over $6.3 million in revenue for the first 6 months of this fiscal year, a jump of over 114%, and translates to an annual run rate over $16 million. Even within this year, our quarter-over-quarter revenue jumped 31% from our first quarter results. Needless to say, our continued growth has been encouraging. So our fundamentals look strong. The top-up business, our bread and butter, is scalable based on our access to capital. Our second pillar, revolving around the SMS business, is growing ahead of schedule, bringing in incremental revenue and profitability. After extensive beta testing, we have launched our third pillar.
I guess on SMS, I was wrong. I guess that is a growth area. Let's come back and start this again.
Profitability. After extensive beta testing, we have launched our third pillar, the portal business, which will allow us to leverage our e-commerce partners' inventory to make a markup on goods that don't even sit on our balance sheet. And our fourth pillar, the thing we're most excited about, is our insurtech business, which encapsulates all the things we are good at. We are great at marketing to users. We have the analytics and algorithms to figure out what the customer wants and when. And the ability to predict consumer behavior gives us a tremendous advantage in the marketplace. I would venture to say that this is a marketing forwarding strategy, and we hope to provide some exciting partnership news very shortly. We're not alone in this space, and we will eventually...
Did you hear that? They're going to have news on Sapientus shortly. That's what I heard him say.
Have to compete with data companies like Snowflake, which recently raised $3.4 billion in its IPO. Even comparatively, we believe we have a major competitive advantage because of our unconstrained access to subscriber data. This provides insurance companies with data to accurately calculate premium levels and command their portfolios. All we do is focus on creating unique products and services that add value to their clients. This is our core competency to begin with, and we think this nimbleness will allow us to thrive in this digital world. I wanted all our shareholders to know that we have also made great strides with respect to our corporate governance. Although the public isn't typically aware of these developments, this ongoing evolutionary process ensures that the proper safeguards are in place for both the company and, more importantly, you, the shareholders. We have been continually building our internal policies and procedures for the past 2 years, ensuring that we are in a suitable position to uplist to a major national exchange when that opportunity arises. We know we aren't there yet. We have to envision that a number of these shortfalls can be corrected in short order. In the interim, we plan to act and behave like a big board company. And with our goal of eventually uplisting, we will keep our shareholders continually apprised
Big board company. That's New York Stock Exchange.
of our growth and when we're able to pursue that next step. I've mentioned it before in press releases that I take my fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders very seriously. I'm here to tell you that those are not merely words, it's my guiding principle as the CEO. Our goal is to build a dynamic and robust company whose profits will directly enhance shareholder value. This is what drives me. I'm very cognizant of shareholder dilution, and we have done our best to avoid toxic money. So although we are always looking for capital,
Did you hear that? Michael Dines, he's not gonna dilute.
it has to be on the right terms. As mentioned, the margins in our business are very tight. Capital. It has to be on the right terms. As mentioned, the market has done our best to avoid toxic money. So although we are always looking for capital, it has to be on the right terms. As mentioned, the margins in our business are very tight, and the landscape is incredibly competitive. So we cannot afford any missteps with respect to the financial model. Rest assured, we are intensely focused on the best growth strategy for the company and the best deal for our shareholders. I would like to thank our team throughout the world, from our advisors in the US, to our data specialists in Hong Kong, and to our management and staff in Malaysia and China. Our common vision to create, build, and develop a successful new type of company is inspiring to see and an exciting team to be a part of. In closing, I just want to say that I'm excited about the future direction of our business. When we started this 3 years ago, we had a vision, but we weren't necessarily sure how to navigate our future. As the landscape evolved, our management team evolved along with it. We all know that technology changes rapidly, and management needs to be able to react quickly and realign the business as necessary. As a company, we have demonstrated that not only can we keep up with the pace of technology, we're striving to stay a few steps ahead.
Yeah.
All right, I need you to get off. I need you to get off the call. I need you to reach out to the CEO, see if you can get a presentation, the latest presentation, if they can give it to you, one that they can send out.
Okay.
And we're putting together everything for David Tepper. My friend, we have to have it tonight first thing in the morning. Again, he just told me he needs all the presentation material possible, so I need you to get off, hang up on the line, and get to work. If you can, email him, see if he can get it to you. All right?
All right. I'll work on it.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Call ended.
Let's get the latest company presentation. All right. I guess I'll send this to him. He couldn't find it. Let me just go through your questions. Big board, big board, big board. Well, keep some cash to. It will be out before the end of the year. That's right. Okay, so there's not a whole lot of questions. Because Ham asked me to, I'm going to sign off and try to get this document to him. I'll see if there's a new work document. And we'll talk tomorrow. So peace around the world. May God protect all the children in war zones and elsewhere. I think we can at least agree on that. So may saner heads prevail. Anyway, we'll talk tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. So catch you later.